Guys, finally, I am now going to do our first episode of Cracking the Grimoire, okay? Understanding scales, modes, and chords. Now, first and foremost, I made a quick little review of that book, which was all that it was intended to be. A few months ago, it got, for a brand new channel, got a lot of views, a lot of interest. I appreciate the comments and everything, guys, and starting a new channel is brutal, especially with how competitive YouTube is now. So when you're trying to do it right, I had a lot of beginner material and a lot of other videos in the queue. Now I can actually devote a little bit of time to this now. So we're going to talk in this episode about the major scale and a couple of the modes of the major scale, trying to explain a few concepts, talk to you about some benefits of the grimoire, and if it goes well and there's interest and views and people keep commenting and posting questions, then we will take it a step further. We're going to talk about the major scale or the Ionian mode. We're going to talk about the Dorian Minor, and we're going to talk about the Phrygian Minor. So now, why the Grimoire is such a good book for a lot of people, it maps out the notes of each scale all over the fretboard. Personally, if you know the chromatic scale, which a lot of people don't know, and by the way, on that note, this book is assuming that you have a pretty good grasp of music theory, so at the very least, know the notes on the guitar neck, know the chromatic scale, know how to spell out major scales, and understand with formulas where chords and other scales and modes come from, and how they come from the major scale. If you don't know that, it's not going to matter. Yngwie Malmsteen can be sitting here trying to explain to you, it ain't going to matter. You're going to be lost no matter what. So I would strongly, guys, encourage you to go and check out my theory lessons. Getting that up to speed, we got a few of them uploaded, got some more coming, but it should be able to get you to the point where you can grasp what's going on more here. If you do not know that, it's always going to be a mystery to you. So there's fingerings for each mode of each scale on the guitar neck, different fingerings, which a lot of people find great. For me personally, I'm particular, I like coming up with my own fingerings. I have my own way of learning the notes on the guitar neck. That's a topic for another video. But a lot of people like that. It lays out the notes all over the neck and then breaks it down into different fingerings for each mode. So it also shows the spelling for each mode, the formula for each mode, and it also shows you which chords go with each mode as well. More on that in a second. So right now, we're going to talk about three modes, okay? So we have the C Ionian, but come on, guys, only jazz bows use that term, okay? Like, major scale, who cares? Okay, C major. Okay, so I'm using a very easy fingering. This gets a lot of people kind of in that intermediate area where they're kind of not quite understanding things. We're going to try and have one explanation here to help you. So C, 8, 10, 12, 8, 10, 12, 9, 10. Okay, very basic fingering. Okay, then we can go up to the D Dorian Minor, has a basic fingering too. 10, 12, 13, 10, 12, 14, 10, 12. And E Phrygian Minor, 12, 13, 15, 12, 14, 15, 12, 14. Now, they are different scales, but those fingerings can be used in the same scale depending on what you're key in. So, first and foremost, it's all relative. I have a lot of different ways of explaining this, and sometimes when I explain it to students, they don't quite get it at first, but with application and further study after a while, they're like, oh yeah, that's what he meant. So, let's look at the C major scale, okay? The C major scale, the major scale tends to sound bright, happy, okay? So I have a backing track here, and I'm going to do a little improvisation with it. Guys, these backing tracks I have on my YouTube channel, and I'm going to be uploading more. They're for you. They're for you when you're learning some of these modes and you want to improvise. This is a great way to apply it. So I'll put the links to the three different backing tracks in the description box, and use them as much as you want. Use them for your improvisations, okay? So, here we go. We're going to have a backing track, and I'm going to do a little improv. See how it sounds happy? Now I'm going to use a little bit of that Dorian Minor fingering that I gave you, but it's actually the C major scale. We're in the key of C. See how it sounds bouncy and happy? I'm happy. Look at me. I was happy as a kid who just got a happy meal from McDonald's, right? Okay, cool. So we got the C major This is relating to C major. These notes are relating to C major. It's like if I'm relating to my neighbor to the left, he thinks I'm a nice, happy guy. Now, even the Dorian mode, this isn't Dorian anymore. I'm in the key of C. So those notes, it's a C major scale, okay? And when you solo, you want to put emphasis. I call it my baseball theory. When you play, it's always good to say your safe spots are the bases, okay? Like in baseball. So we're playing over C major scale, so our safe spots are on the first base, second base, third base, or in this case, the root, the major third, and the fifth, okay? So if I want to solo, stop on a note, accent a note, do vibrato on a note, bend up to a note, I want to make sure it's one of the notes in that chord, okay, over the C major chord, okay? Cool. Now we're going to go to a D minor backing track, okay? So now we're not relating to this neighbor over here. We're not relating to C, E, and G. We're not in that key anymore. We're in the key of D minor. Now this is just a basic D minor chord backing track. We are now relating to D, F, and A. Okay, so we're relating to the neighbor to the right, okay? So, let's take a listen here. Doesn't sound quite as happy anymore, right? A little bit more of a sadder sound to it. So that note there that I just did the vibrato on is the A, 5th degree. Stopping on one of the notes. So now those modes, I was using the D Dorian Minor mode there because we're relating now as the key of D. So when I use those notes, it could be one of basically 7 scales depending on what key I'm in or what I'm playing over. In this case, D minor. So I am using, if I use the notes of the C major scale over D minor, it's not C major anymore, it's D Dorian Minor. So now I'm bringing in an E minor backing track, okay? So it's just simply relating to an E minor chord. So the notes in the E minor chord are E, G, and B, okay? We have a first, a minor third, a flat third, minor third, and a fifth, okay? So now if I'm playing the notes of the C major scale over E minor in the key of E minor, it's not the C major scale anymore, it's E Phrygian Minor. It's going to have a bit of a dark, almost a little bit of a Spanish sound to it. A little bit of a dark sound, a little bit of a Spanish sound to it, eh? So the Phrygian Minor scale has, as we said, has a Spanish sound, a minor sound to it. But now let's play that same scale over the C major scale anymore, okay? So maybe the person across the street thinks I'm a not nice person. Maybe they think I'm an a-hole, okay? I'm relating, I could be one of 7 personalities depending on who I'm relating to, okay? Across the street, I'm Phrygian Minor. So for people that are confused, I'm gonna play those same notes, the E Phrygian Minor scale, but let's play it over C again, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna play it, but it ain't gonna sound dark and kind of sad or evil now. It's gonna sound happy and bouncy again, okay? Watch this. Trying to make it sound evil, guys. Passing tone. So those notes, it doesn't relate to that anymore. It's not going to sound dark and evil anymore because we're relating to C major, C, E, and G. All those notes are relating now to that. It's totally changed. It's not the same. So one of the ways I'll explain to people is I'll say, okay, you could be, the C major scale could be one of 7 scales depending on what key we're playing over. That kind of can go over people's heads at first, but I like to throw that out there as an easy way to explain the modes. But you know, if you're intermediate, that might be a little bit over your head. going back to the Grimoire, okay? The Grimoire also tells you, the formulas for each chord, but for the major scale and the modes, you should kind of already know it. Dorian Minor, okay, it's going to spell out Dorian Minor, 1st, 2nd, flat 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, flat 7. Phrygian Minor is interesting. What makes it really interesting is because it has a flat 2nd, okay? It has what's called a minor 2nd interval in it. So it goes 1st, flat 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, flat 6th, flat 7, okay? It has a bit of a Spanish flavor and a dark sound to it. Also in the Grimoire, it tells you what chords you can use with what scales. Now, one of the big breakthroughs I had with music is understanding when the formula of a chord could fit into the formula of a scale. I realized, hey, that means I can use the scale over that chord. So an example would be, if we look at C major, the 3 chords it lists that works over it are the major chord, of course, C major, 1st, 3rd, 5th. All right, so we have C, E, and G. Well, that fits into the C major scale. C major 7, so a major 7th chord, what do we have? We have a major triad, C, E, and G, or 1st, 3rd, and 5th, and we're adding the 7th. Okay, works great with the major chord. But also we have a major 9 chord. Now you guys must know what that is, but if you don't, I will spell it out for you. A major 9th chord, we have a 1st, 3rd, 5th, so it's basically a major triad. We're adding the 7th degree, and we're also adding the 9th degree. The 9th degree is a 2nd degree, an octave higher. So the notes C, E, G, B, and D. Go to Dorian Mode. Okay, Dorian Mode, the chords that the Grimoire list for it that works are the minor 7th and the minor 9th. So if we look at the minor 7th, it's a minor triad, 1st, flat 3rd, 5th, with a flat 7. So we can see how that works with Dorian Minor. Minor 9th chord formula goes 1st, flat 3rd, 5th, flat 7, and 9th. Okay? So, Phrygian Minor, of course, Phrygian Minor, you can use a minor chord. That's what I did here. But also with a minor 7th chord. Okay? Now, one of the things with the Grimoire, guys, there's so many frickin' scales and there's so many modes of each scale. This is going to be episode 1. Do you understand that the major scale can be one of 7 scales depending on what key you're in? Each of them will have a different sound, different flavor to it. If we're in the key of C and I play the notes of the C major scale, I'm related to Happy Freddy. Not related, relating to Happy Freddy next door. He thinks I'm a happy guy. He's a happy guy, I'm a happy guy, okay? So we're relating to the key of C, C, E, G. If we are relating to the guy next door on this side, we're relating to the key of D minor, D, F, and A. It's not the same. All right, and across the street, relating to E minor, E, G, and B. So guys, this is going to be our first little insight into the Guitar Grimoire, okay? Let me know what you think, comment below, and I will post another video going by your questions and views. Remember, practice hard, practice smart, and we'll see you soon.